Hi everyone and happy Tuesday. We are on part 2 of the planner page. I'm Johanna Basford Weekly Planner and we're using Staedtler Ergosoft pencils. We're going to be doing the leaves today, and we're going to start, I'm just looking, with the number 5. Now I'm not going to zoom in that much yet, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working across the whole page quite quickly. So we're going to take the 5 and we're going to do all the stems, and yeah, we're going to just start by doing all the stems. So I'm just going to sort of block those in, and so I don't really want to come in too close. It's because I'm going to be rapidly moving around the page. I hope everyone's good today. This stem, yeah, I'm just gonna, what have I been, oh yeah, I was gonna say to you how quickly, you know, August this week, can't believe it. That's what I was thinking. But also, yes, Johanna Basford's new book. Did you see her flip through? I'm so excited. I've got it on pre-order from Waterstones. Waterstones is a UK book shop, high street bookshop, but they also have do online. I've ordered it online because we don't have one near us, and I think I'll get it more quickly that way. They often are quite naughty and send things out before the release date, so I'm hoping I might get it a few days early, which means that I'll be able to do a flip through for you guys as soon as I can, with a little tutorial right away. And I've had a look now. Her flip through, by the time this video comes out, would have come out, and she was going to put it on Instagram and Facebook, so it should be available to view. I probably would have shared a link to it on my Facebook page anyway. I tend to do that if I can. So that's exciting, but she did this little quick, like this thing, okay, in the video that I've seen, and that was quite exciting because I spotted a few things. Now obviously you may have seen the main video, so you may have seen other things. Also, some of you might want to wait till you've got the book to know what's in it, but I have to say, it's a large size book. I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying that. And I have to say that her last larger size book, which was Rooms of Wonder, I didn't find quite so appealing to me personally, because it was like little objects inside of rooms, lots of detailed bits. This one, as far as I can tell, seems to be outside again, which I prefer. You know, like this particular page we're doing here, you know, it's outside. Well, it's not really a scene, but you know what I mean. And I just find that I prefer it. You know, we're all different in what we like and dislike. So I'm quite excited about that. I've seen some animals that look rather fun to colour. A few things that look a little bit different to her normal style of drawing, where she's just drawn things in a slightly different way, which was really interesting. And some of the pages look quite detailed, but some don't. So there are definitely pages where there are lots of smaller items on the page, so those are great for videos, so I'm excited about those. Although of course I can do a whole page broken down into bits, like exactly what we're doing here with this one, but I do prefer just doing a little bit, you know, a little thing. It just seems to suit me better. I prefer colouring those sorts of pages anyway, so I guess that might be all part of it. I think that's one there. We're nearly getting to the end of this stems, so just blocking out all of the stems. So I think I'm done. Now I'm going to come in closer and deal with the leaves a little more. I'm going to sort of do it in sections, so we'll start up here There we go. So I'm going to start here with these orchids. What my plan is, I've got the 5 still in my hand, is to make it quite intense at the bottom and then fade it like that. Now I want to try as much as I can to fade it off to nearly nothing, so that when I blend in my lighter green, which I'm going to put on the tip, it mixes nicely. I didn't do it very well with the purple and pink flowers. Because we're using 2 shades of green that are quite close to each other, it makes it a lot easier, but I want to try and do a better job. So the more you fade it like that down to almost nothing, the easier it is to blend them together. That's my tip of the day. I'm sure you all know that anyway, but you know, for beginners, sometimes it's good to have a reminder, isn't it? Now, I'm just checking what you can and can't see in my camera. Okay, so because I can't run off the mains anymore, there is a chance that I might start, there we go, finding that my battery runs out mid-video. Now I have had that before. It can be a little bit irritating in that I forget what I was talking about, so if it's in the middle of a story, you never get the end of it, which isn't irritating for me, but is for you. I should really write it down, shouldn't I? Anyway, but apart from that, it's fine, because you can just, if I put my pencil down and it, you know, as long as I don't colour anything without the battery, without it recording, but I can hear when it stops recording, because the shutter closes on the camera. But we still only got a quarter down, so, and we've been recording for, we did, what was it, about half an hour for the first bit, and now, oh, only 7 minutes for this bit, but you know, been recording for a while. So and my card takes about 5 hours. I never run out of that. That's the cut. This isn't a problem that's new since changing around doing things really with the card. It's always had a limited capacity, and I have to download and take stuff off it and erase it. But that's fine. That's what I'm used to doing. I think one thing that worried me about having to have a repair and use my phone is that learning to use something new, or you know, if I had to buy a new camera and I had to learn how to use it, I find that sort of thing so boring. My husband just can't understand. He's real like techie person. He loves new stuff and learning new technology. Like, he bought his camera, he put these batteries on to charge and immediately read the manual and looked at 2 videos on how to use it and all that sort of thing, whereas for me that is just the most boring thing in the world. I just want something that I can just press a few buttons and off we go when it's done. You know, I don't want fancy, I don't want different things, you know. So he can't get his head around it. He's like, well, you can just learn and do this and it's fun and other, and I'm like, no, it's not, I just want to get on with my job. There we go. It's we're all different, aren't we? But he was he also got a little bit irritated because when I didn't have a camera and I wanted to try and record, he was trying to find me solutions, but with regards to setting up a phone and things, and I was like, well, that's not gonna work. And he's like, but you didn't tell me what you need. And I'm like, no, but I sort of thought you would guess from what I do. And anyway, so in the end, if you've seen any of the videos I recorded when on my phone, I did 2. One of them was too quiet and shadowy, and then the other one, I had a light that my light was right in up my nose, so it wasn't ideal. I'm really happy to have my normal setup back, so I can just do my normal thing and not have to have a see, is this a flower? I think I'm just going to colour these bottom bits. I might do those top bits a different colour. I usually do them pink. It looks quite rough, but I'm going to go over this with the other colour, green, once we get round to doing that bit. Where do we go now? We'll go back down here, I think. Yeah, so I'm just relieved and happy. I think he is too, you know, that I'm sorted, and it wasn't, as I say, it wasn't too expensive, which is good. Makes a big difference. I was, what was I doing? What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, I was looking at Arteza the other day. Now Arteza had, it was Prime Day, going back a bit now, and Arteza had a big sale. And I'm going up here, you can't see. There we go. And I was having a look at what they got, and they've got such a limited supply of coloured pencils at the moment. Now, I did get in touch with them, and they did say that they were struggling to manufacture them, which was a shame. And I noticed I think it was a 48 set that they have, and that's it, and a few open stocky type ones, but not many. So yeah, whereas you know, they used to have a 120 set, so that's out of stock, which is a shame. But I was having another look this morning because they've got a sort of, because I'm an Amazon affiliate, they've got this special offer on, which Amazon told me about, where they're offering extra commission on Arteza products if I tick a box and say I agree to doing promotion. But I didn't quite understand what the terms were, so I messaged them first, because if you don't do it properly according to their terms, then you can't do any others. So I wanted to check before I signed up, because it said you have to do a shopping option in your social media or a video, and I was like, well, I don't know how to do a shopping option in, and it also said you have to link to your Amazon shopfront, which I don't have because Amazon won't let me have one, because I'm not big enough. So I wrote to them to check first and said, you know, can I just use the affiliate link in the description of the video, which is what I do all the time, to find out if that's going to be okay for them. But they also said they offered samples, which was interesting. But because they haven't got their big pencil sets, then, you know, I've got a 72 set, which I was gifted, and they're lovely. I mean, some of them are getting a bit short, but as they only had the 24 set, I don't know whether the ones that I'm short of, that should have been coloured in like that, are in it or not. I don't know which ones are in that smaller 48 set, or was it 24, 48? I can't even remember. Anyway, so I've been in touch with them. We'll see what happens about that. Because I had recently done a video using Arteza pencils. Which one was it? A few weeks ago's planner page, wasn't it? They aren't the best pencils, I should have to say, but they're nor are these. I think that polychromos are the best, but sometimes I do go for the Prismacolors, because they've got particular colours that I want that aren't in the polys, or I want to do a pencil background and Prismacolors go down so much quicker. Or I want something, you know, I want to go a bit faster, because polychromos, like these Staedtlers, if you want a really nice effect, you have to layer and layer and layer. Now you can do also with Prismas, but because they're softer, it's a bit quicker to get an intense amount of colour. So that's why sometimes I could grab those and go for those instead. But yeah, the budget sets have their pros and cons as well. You know, I need to do this one a bit darker. They're obviously cheaper and can be better value for money. and the colour ranges are all different, so it depends what you want. And then of course we've got our sort of specialist ones like pastels and metallics and things like that, that the bigger companies don't. I mean, Holbein are known for their pastels, I think. But and Prismacolors obviously have quite a range of pastels within their normal set, but polychromos don't, and they only have a limited amount of metallics like Prismacolor. So if you want metallics, I think Derwent do. They're the only big sort of company that do metallics, and I've got one of their metallics pencils just to try, and I can't say it's any better really than the cheap ones, and the cheap ones tend to have a bigger range of colour. I know Derwent do some metallic and watercolour pencils, they might be better. I can't say, I haven't tried those. I think I'm going to start at the bottom. Yeah, so these sorts of things, and I know Brufuna do quite a few things like metallic and pastels and stuff, and a lot of people really like theirs. I've got their metallics, I like their metallics, to say. So yeah, sometimes the budget pencils can come up better. And then of course we've got the Newcastle Arts Harmonious set, which have got some more unique colours in that they're quite muted colours, atmospheric, a quite good range for sort of night times and things. But I have made comparison charts, colour comparison charts with those all the main brands now, Black Widows, Polly's, Prismas, Staedtler. And you can replicate those colours yourself, you know, but then you can anyway with most colours you can make from other colours. So just like paint, if you've got the primaries, you can usually make every colour, but obviously it's a lot easier to have those colours already made for you. And there's a limit, because if you need a really load of green and a tiny bit of yellow for the particular colour you want, you might run out of tooth on your paper before you've even been able to make it. So that is a bit of an issue as well. It's not like paint where you can mix it in your palette. You know, you have to mix it on the paper. And that can also make it a little more tricky as well. But so being able to grab at a bigger range, I mean, even paint mixing isn't, people don't always do it. I mean, if they did, we'd only have black, white, yellow, blue and red paint, but we don't. We have all sorts of colours available, showing that artists, painters don't always mix. So it's just a bit easier, isn't it, if you've got a bigger range. Also, of course, you might have a scarlet red, but you might need a brick red or a carmine or Indian red or things like that, and you might not be able to get every colour out of the particular colours that you've got. I've never tried. I find painting really hard, so it's not something that I find relaxing. Watercolour pencils, a little bit better, but I'm still practicing. I have had a request actually to do a page with watercolour pencils. I haven't yet found a page that I think would work. I mean, there are plenty of pages that would, that I was sort of felt was right for recording. I haven't forgotten that request, and I will have a go at some point at doing something. But it's also difficult because, you know, you have to think about the paper in the book. People who are very good at their watercolours, they know how to not put too much water on the page and it doesn't saturate it, but it still can make it either feel a bit thick or a bit warped. So I'm not very good at doing such a tiny amount that I don't get that. So that's a bit of a drawback for me personally. Right, now we are going to use our next green. I'm going to use this one. This is number 50, and I'm going to use it over everything really to try and blend up and get a nice, you can even see that, get a nice bright, warm, slightly tidier looking green. Go all the way through. I can't believe it's school holidays already. And they get 6 weeks off. My boys have already had so much holiday though. But they don't go back when schools go back either. They get even more holiday you do from uni. So they, I think the first years have Freshers Week. Oh, my telephone's ringing. Oh, I am back. Sorry, I had to go and answer the telephone. It was a lady who is organising the bathroom refit, basically, the rep at the bathroom showroom, and one of the items that we've ordered she hasn't been able to get hold of. We want like sheets of acrylic on the wall to try to prevent any leakage of water through, because we've had so many problems with tiles. And she, I don't know if I'm close enough, hold on, let's come in a little bit more, there we go. And she said that the company that she'd ordered from hadn't got back to her, and she tried ringing them every day for a week, and in the end she got through. And they said they tried to ring her, but she didn't believe them because she'd been trying to ring them. But basically they said they didn't have the item in stock, and she said, well, have you got any of the other designs, you know, patterns, colours or whatever? And they said, no, we're not going to supply them anymore. So we can't get that particular item. So I then thought, well, I know that my dad has got that in his bathroom, in his wet room. So I tried to phone him and he wasn't in. So, but as it was almost lunchtime, I thought I would just go and get some lunch before I came back to this. And I turned my camera off because now it's not on mains, power only battery. I thought I had better, you know, turn it off to make sure I don't just run the battery down while having lunch, which might explain why the picture sort of jumped a little bit when I came back because I didn't know where it was. But anyway, hopefully it's all good. And I am just colouring in green anyway. But I'm basically trying to cover all of the leaves over and try to sort of blend in the darker area and cover it over, brighten and lighten and that sort of thing. I probably said that already, but I can't remember. And then while we're having lunch, there was another phone call from somebody else about something completely different. So, oh goodness me, it's one of those days. Lots of things going on, lots of things to think about. But at least my camera's working. Hurrah! I am so happy. So that's really good. It does mean, I think I did explain yesterday that it means there will still be a few of the compilation videos because I haven't got time to sort of catch up with content. So I'd made 5 yesterday, so those will be running this week pretty much through the week. What else is there? Yes, and I'll sort of be catching up with other videos and things too. So I'm trying to guess how long this video's been, but I've got no clue. So I didn't write it all down. I can see that I've used about 53 minutes of SD card, so I guess it's been nearly an hour for both parts, but I don't know how long the first part was. But it seems a little bit, it would seem a bit odd to just suddenly stop now or whenever and guess. So I'm just going to carry on with the green, see what happens. I had sort of thought that this would be 3 videos, but I'm not sure because it's not very, it's not loads to go, you know. It's not going to take too long to sort of do this green, for me anyway. I'm sure some of you might have to pause and catch up, especially if you want to do a much neater job than I have, which is probably likely. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to recording my completed pages. I haven't done huge amounts. You know, I used to get like 100 pages done in a month and things like that, and I realise now why I'm not getting as many done as I used to, because I'm making swatch charts now. A comparison swatch chart could take a day. They're quite tricky. Just a regular swatch chart is quite easy, because I sort of can do a quick swatch of all the colours, put them in order, in the order that I like, and then produce a chart. Done. But for comparisons, you have to, obviously there's 2 sets, it takes a bit longer to swatch them anyway, but you have to make sure the match is as good as you can get. And when I was doing the Harmonious pencils ones, it was quite tricky, because often one pencil there was no one pencil that matched it really closely, so I would combine a few. And I know some people won't want that, it's not ideal, but to get like a muted purple, and there isn't one in the set, then you have to sort of add some grey, perhaps something like that, to just get that effect. But I think I've done all the Harmonious ones that I'm probably going to do now. I've done the Polly's Prismas and Black Widow and Staedtler. I was asked for Artex, but I only have a small set of those, so I don't think I would be able to match them very well at all. Like I've only got one, I'm pretty sure in the Artex there's only one purple in my set, and a sort of lavender, and that's it. So it'd all be the same one all the time, so I don't think it's going to be very useful. Excuse me, got a frog back. I had a frog first thing this morning in my throat, and it was rather irritating. Yes, but it seems to be back. But so I haven't done it for Artex, and also I don't tend to do them for Arteza for the same reason. I've got a small set of Arteza, and so I don't feel like I could give you a good match. Whereas, yes, with the Staedtlers they're 72, which is the same amount as Arteza that I've got and Artex that I've got, but it's the full set, so it sort of felt better doing it with that. But anyway. But yes, I think the Harmonious is quite an interesting idea, that they're a little bit different, muted, that sort of thing. But it really depends on what you like. If you like metallic pencils and they have a sort of more muted look to them, the colours, then you would like them. But there's a lot of greys. If you don't like grey, yeah, it's going to put you off a little bit. And yeah, I think it's not meant to be really a standalone set, although I have used them as a standalone set on a page which I did do a tutorial for, and on another page which I didn't, so I have used them standalone. But I think mixing them in with other sets is probably the best way to go. And to be honest, I think they might work best with the gold, the Castle Arts gold, rather than the soft touch. Just because the gold has some of those sorts of greyish, like the oyster and the light sepia and the old rose, those sorts of colours I think would work really well with them. But it's just my thought on it. But I haven't combined them with sets yet. I've had lots to do. So I've been actually doing a lot of colouring in Ivy. I really want to finish Ivy and the Inky Butterfly before Johanna's new book comes out. Every time I see something about Johanna's new book, like yesterday she was advertising her flip through, which she's doing tomorrow. Obviously, I spoke about this already. It would have already happened by the time this video goes out. But it sort of made me excited for the new book and think, oh, I'm going to have to hurry up and finish Ivy. I've got quite a lot to go still. But I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. I've got less than 30 pages, so it doesn't feel totally daunting. I had calculated I'd have to do like 3 a week. to keep on top of things, but some of the pages are quite small and or just got a little tiny thing on them or whatever, and I haven't all of those yet. I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by the flat battery stopping my recording. Yeah, this is going to be an issue, and I am going to have to keep a close eye on what's going on. It'd be easier if I had noticed it was going flat, but it had a quarter of a thing. Maybe it just suddenly dropped down. I don't know. Anyway, luckily I had another battery, so it's good. It's all good. But that was my old battery. It might not be as efficient as the new one that I bought, so we'll see. I don't know. It's hard to know how much life they have, you know. They don't tell you. Oh, actually, I'm sure one said, oh, on the box. But of course they get less efficient as they get older, rechargeable batteries. So anyway, it's going to be one of those things I've got to get used to, but it's still, you know, it is tempting to get the camera repaired. But I had a reply actually today from Sony, because Sony hadn't got back to me saying, you know, oh, we can't tell you how much it's going to cost until you send it to us. And it's like, oh. And then they charged us to look at it. It's like, oh, it's such a risk, isn't it? You know. And then I think they said it would take at least 2 weeks, the repair. Just a long old time. Anyway. I'll manage, and one day I'll buy myself a new camera. But you know, this was a big investment, and I've had it for a good few years, and of course it's making me money. But even so, it doesn't mean I want to spend loads on getting a new one or getting a repair or whatever. But there we go. I'm interested to know actually if any of you are YouTubers that are watching, what cameras do you use? You know, and if you just use your phone, I guess you have a tripod attachment for your tripod. Maybe you have a microphone that you attach to your phone, or maybe you record your audio separately. I know some people do that. Can't be doing with that. I remember watching my son editing. Him and his brother used to make videos together, and they'd have separate audio channels, and he would then have to try and line them up when he was editing, and it just looked like a total nightmare. And he used to find it really hard too. But now only one of them does videos and streaming. The other one does a little bit occasionally, but not. They don't do it together, so they haven't got that pain of doing that. Alright, I'm getting there, and then we can do the I think I'm going to keep the butterflies quite simple, but I'm trying to have a look and see what colours I've used and haven't used, so that I can use something that helps them to stand out. And I'm really unsure about the parrot. I'm really tempted to do him as a grey galah, just so he stands out from all the other colour, you know. And I don't have a picture of a macaw with me, so I'll probably get it wrong. I'm just going to sharpen up again. You don't necessarily need a really sharp pencil all the time, but I'm just doing these. And they're quite small. Or small, as my son would say. Oh, I feel like I could do some chocolate today. It's one of those days. Busy, busy, just could do with some. But I don't have any set in mind. I had a bath for my birthday, which was lovely. But that was quite a long time ago. Back in May. I don't buy it anymore because it's so expensive. And we're trying to be careful, despite the fact that we're having to pay out a lot of money for a bathroom, and you know, my husband just bought a camera. I'm still trying to cut back a bit because of him working less days a week. You know, like my chocolate bars, they are silly. They cost like over £6 a bar, and you know, I can eat one in a week. That's a lot of money, you know. So I thought if I gave them up, that would save a lot of money. So I have. My husband's a bit cross that I've given them up, you know, and that, you know, I'm trying to spend less and our shopping bills have come down. He's like, we shouldn't have to suffer because I'm doing less work. And I'm like, well, we're not, because, you know, hoping that it's helping his health. And it's a trade-off, isn't it? So, and I do have cocoa powder on my breakfast, so I still get my sort of theobromine hit and all those phytonutrients that you get in the dark chocolate. So it's not like I'm totally going without. And the other things we've sort of given up are the sort of snacks and things. You know, we used to sometimes say to boys, oh, do you want a sandwich from the supermarket, or do you want a bag of crisps or a cake or whatever, you know. Don't do that anymore, and that can only be a good thing, you know, healthy. Right, now I'm going to do this plant here next. Oh, I haven't done the green bit though, have I? Or maybe I have, but it's messy. I don't know. Maybe I've done a bit of it and not all of it, I think it looks like. There we go. So I often do that in a sort of pinky red. So, but yeah, I'm going to do it in this colour. We haven't actually used this one, I don't think, the number 2. So I'm going to do these in number 2. I'm pretty sure they're normally more of a pinky red than a orangey red, but this will be fine. And I've definitely decided that I'm going to do my parrot as a grey parrot. And I will use the same grey on the butterflies' bodies. I think that will work. But yeah, I was saying I hadn't done as many completed pages, but still, hope you enjoy them though. They'll be coming up. What day did I think they would be on? The 31st. So, yeah, this is number 8, which is our dark grey. I'm going to use it here. Can you just checking? You can see. Yeah, there is the body of that butterfly. We have this one here. Now, I haven't done these little circles on the leaves. I'm just going to do those now while I think about it, and I think I'm going to do them in a different shade of green. This is 52. I'm never quite sure what they're supposed to be. I don't think it necessarily matters what they are, but it makes it tricky for me knowing how to colour them in. Yeah, that's all of them, just checking. So now with my dark colour with the parrot, I'm just going to do its beak and feet. Oh, it hasn't got any feet. Wow. So now I think I'm just going to put a few shadowy marks in there. There, and maybe on the edge of the belly. And then I'm going to use the lighter grey, which is 80. Just do the rest of his face. I want to try and leave the eye white. There we go. There he is. Now back to the 2 butterflies. We'll just about get them both in shot. I was thinking maybe a slightly turquoisey colour, but they've got blue right here. So maybe that's not quite, maybe they need to be a dark blue. Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's use this one. This is the 3. And what I will do is fade them towards the tip of the wing. I noticed there's butterflies in Johanna's new book. I wasn't going to do any spoilers, was I? I'm sure it's not that much of a spoiler. But it does look amazing. I think if you watch videos, you're a member of a colouring group, you're going to get spoilers. So if you really don't want any, you'll have to, I don't know how you'll keep away from it really. Everyone's going to be so excited talking about it. Right, lastly we need to do our white dots. Remember I said we're going to do some. I think I'll go top to bottom and just move around the page a little bit. This is my Jelly Roll 10. So I'm going to start with these. And I'm just going to go all the way around the centre. And then like that. So on the sort of top set of petals. Now let's move across now. It was hard to know what to do with the orchid. I think I'll just do them around the middle. And these around the middle. On the edge of all of these central bits, I think. Like that. They're all the same really. There's quite a lot of these, isn't there? Maybe I should have made it easier. It's not hard, is it? It just takes time. But that's okay. Be worth it. Now I'm not going to do any on the parrot. I'm looking at him. So we sort of move across. I'm trying to do it in order so that I don't smudge it. So sort of top to bottom is usually a good way to do things. I'm not going to... maybe I'll just do some on the top. It's not really... I never really consider this to be a flower, more of a sort of plant. But it just give it a little bit of something. And I'm going to do some on the wings of the butterfly. A few on the top of these. I think once you start you have to sort of include everything, except I'm not going to do the parrot. It just doesn't make sense for me to do it for the parrot. These again, these need to be quite small dots. You can use a smaller pen, or just if you take your pen off the paper quicker. I'm going to go over here actually so I don't smudge. If you go from left to right, of course if you're left-handed you need to go from right to left. It's it depends, but you may be used to that by now if you're left-handed, knowing which way not to smudge. It's a bit confusing, isn't it? Just think about the direction that your hand moves across the page from side to side and top and bottom, or bottom to top and other side to other side, and just try to make sure that you do it so that you aren't going to smudge. You can hear a sort of lawnmower-y type noise outside. It's very continuous sound. I guess if someone's mowing a large lawn, it does take time, doesn't it? I think we are nearly there. I'm going to come out so you can see the whole page. There we go. It's a bit it always looks a little bit bleached at the top because of the position of my lamp, but it's always good. Unless I put it really high, it's quite difficult to stop that happening. I could try it higher, I guess. Anyway, that is me done for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.